Mother, man.
All right, motherfucker, you need to talk.
They didn't tell me, but I didn't really do it. It's Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! Warning! Trigger alert! Trigger alert! Trigger alert! Warning! Trigger alert! Warning! 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 Trigger alert! Warning!
All right.
What the fuck's up?
They've been warned.
What is up?
And it's Tuesday, and that means we're throwing down a brand new Murder Metal Mayhem. We're in Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 253 going down tonight. I got Chris here with me and
Yes,
Horns
sir. What
High,
up?
and Joey's over there in the 419 studios. How you doing, man?
Yep, we're good.
Hells
That's
yeah.
cool.
Hells
That's
yeah.
cool. What shirts we got on tonight, Chris? What are you doing over there?
I got the Goremonger fucking hate cunt shirt on and the neck rot hat that I picked up at the show fucking at the Municipal Waste Show and shit. So
Nice.
fuck yeah.
Nice. You did spend some money on some merch. That's good.
I got another 2 shirts and 2 hats. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome. What about you, Joey? What are you doing over there?
I got the Libido airbag hoodie on tonight.
Nice.
Fuck
nice.
yeah, dude.
Is that your Detroit hat on over there?
Yep.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. And I got my hobo with a shotgun shirt. I was supposed to wear my leper colony shirt, but it was a little tight in the chest. Those European sizes, not quite the same as U.S., but wearing the hobo with a shotgun. Can't go wrong
There you
with
go.
that.
Great
Go
movie.
wrong with that. Definitely. Now, last week we had a good one with Colin 815 Posse Rogers in here. Chris, you had fun with Colin. That was
We
a
had
good
some
time.
drinks.
Guys were drinking and having fun. That was a good one, and it was a
Those are
wild,
some good ass fucking beers too. honestly.
wild. Yeah, you guys are drinking stout, huh?
Yeah, them bourbon barrel stouts. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was that. I was worried. I was really worried when he busted that out. But you were aces, man. You were just,
Right?
just fine. Like in Leahy you were in the pocket. you know?
I've learned to fucking eat something before I come out.
That's good. That's good. Well, we were talking about that crazy UK motherfucker, Patrick Mackay, and he was just insane, literally insane, and vicious crimes, possibly 11 victims in only 2 years. And plus, Joey, you did the metal feature. That was a good one. What did you do?
Crepitation from the UK.
Yeah, that was
Oh, yeah.
awesome. It was just funny how that tied in with the UK episode. Sometimes we make ourselves look really smart when maybe it was just an accident, but that was awesome. We did a killer cage match. We did some funny mayhem. The dog dragging the kid down the sidewalk. Got a few people that got a chuckle from
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. All the usual stupidity that you've learned to love. And we had about 900 to that one today, so up a little, and that's good. And another 200 listens on YouTube and 200 views to the video of the murder segment. So that to all total, that's quite a bit higher than normal. So that's awesome. And we appreciate you guys that checked it out. And if you missed it, go on and give 252 a spin. Now, we also put out several new episodes of the 666 Seconds of Murder and the 666 Seconds of Metal videos, so you can check those out in the links below. But we got a lot going on YouTube, both on the metal and the main channel. We had 5,000 subscribers we passed last night, which is a big milestone. We started with 174 in December, so that's awesome. So thank you to everybody that's been there
That's
doing
pretty
that.
dope.
And tonight, though, we're talking about a subject that has been on the list since we started. I know it was because I remember talking to you about it in the dining room here and like, man, this would be a good one. And for whatever reason, I just never thought the time was right and trying to figure it out. And this one just really fell into place with this great, ensemble between you guys and myself. We've got a lot to talk about here, but We're going to have 2 guests on with us tonight. We got Tex.
What up, Tex? It's
Of
always
course.
good to have him.
Tex is awesome. He and I did that Mick interview on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. But he's a corrections officer in Texas to offer his insight. And we got A.R. Hayes, who's an ex-con who does the channel of Convicts Thoughts on YouTube. And we're talking about false confession. So what a great cast to have on this one tonight. And definitely anxious to get everybody together and talk about this, because it's going to be a good one. Now I got the horns in metal tonight and going to be doing that old school death metal band from Milwaukee, Morta Skuld. Definitely like those guys. They've been around since 1990,
That's a minute.
That's crazy. Still killing it. And they got a new album out. I just reviewed it, and we're going to be talking with them. And Joey's got a lost classic for us, right, Joey?
Yeah.
All right, and we got a lot more coming up in that metal segment. So, but tonight we're throwing down a brand new Killer Cage match, and that's where we have a list of 100 killers, 100 objects for them to fight with, a variable in the cage, and a song cranking up as they fight to the death. And it's a blast. We have some listeners, though, to thank, Chris.
Yes, sir. We got the homie that was here last week, Colin 815 Posse Rogers. We got our author friend Sue Rovens, and then we got the fucking one and only Ray McDaddy McFalls.
Hell yeah. Definitely great to have all 3 of them. And we got another great battle, though, going on tonight, Joey. An interesting one, though, I got to say.
Oof.
We got Albert Fish, and he's going to be going up against that from Australia, Tilly Devine, the Razor fighter.
I hope she don't bring
Razor
that
Wars.
cutthroat razor with
She's a
her
mean
somewhere,
bitch.
because damn, she was fucking mean. But they'll have a couple objects, which always makes it interesting, Chris. And
Yes, sir.
Variable in the cage and a song playing while they kill each other on our custom 666,000 watt stereo. So we'll do that in the Mayhem segment later on. So stick around. That's definitely a listener favorite. So it's always a lot of fun to do those. And we're loving that new Ed Kemper mask, though, Chris.
That's
what do you
pretty
think
fucking
of it,
sick
man?
right there. Yes, this.
Changed the configuration only because we're running out of wall space, so I had to do some moving around. So we got them now behind us. So that's
12 of them.
12
God
of them.
damn.
Yeah. So
And Joe, you
definitely,
said you're going to pick yours up tomorrow, right? Well, it'll be Wednesday.
it'll be yesterday.
Yeah, it'll
by
be
the
yesterday
time they
when
hear
the
this.
podcast
But
comes
you're
out.
going out
Yeah.
there to the lair.
Yeah, go check it out. They said they're working on some stuff so we can get a little peek at it.
That's
Now, do you
fucking
like
sweet.
seafood, Joey?
No.
Oh,
At
okay.
all.
I was going to tell you, there's a great place right by his house. When Jenny and I went, we went there to eat because they used to have them in Connecticut, but
Yeah.
I'd never heard of one, and there's one there right near his house. So I was going to tell you about it.
Yeah, he said there's a bar across the street or something we're going to go to.
Yeah,
Right
the
on.
bar he
Somewhere
likes
right
to
by his
go
house.
to, I bet. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Thanks to everybody listening to the podcast. Keep seeing the numbers up there. 5,600 this week. Another 35,000 views on YouTube. So Murder Metal Mayhem definitely getting the word out, and we appreciate that very
yeah,
much.
that's sweet.
Joey, what about our top 10 cities listening?
Chicago, number 1.
Nice.
Brisbane, Australia, 2.
Damn.
Brooklyn, 3. Honolulu, 4. Birmingham, Alabama, 5. And Illinois is 6. Columbus, Ohio, 8 or 7. Temple is 8. Temple, Texas. Anderson, Indiana is 9. New York is 10.
Fuck yeah, man. New York, and Brooklyn both in there. That's awesome.
Anderson, Indiana.
Appreciate
What the
that.
fuck?
Yeah, I don't know about Anderson, Indiana. I don't know what's there, but appreciate it. Some crazy motherfuckers, apparently. Chris, what about the countries tuning in, listening?
Obviously, the United States is number 1, 82%. And then Australia's got 5%. Canada's got 2%. Germany's got 2%. And the rest are 1% or less. But there's the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Ireland, Sweden, and Mexico. What's up, Pato Loco? Yeah, but thanks, y'all, man. We appreciate it everywhere, dude. Fuck
Yeah, definitely. I had a lady contact me on YouTube from Scotland who said she's been listening to the podcast since she saw the video. So yeah, we've converted some crazy woman in Scotland to listen to
Sweetness.
us. So we love that. The YouTube stats in the last month, 121,000 total views, 15,300 watch hours, and 77 new subscribers. So thank you. And the Horns High Club over there, we appreciate it, just like we do with the 666 Club here. The True Crime Deep Cuts first episode did very well, 10,000 views in less than a week. And I'm putting together another one. So that'll be cool. Make sure you guys check out our website, murdermetalmayhem.com. You can score some merch. You can pick up some stuff there.
Grab it. What you got what you smoking on, Joe?
Nothing special, just a vape pen today.
Nice. Right on. I still got the fucking goddamn the
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, because I still don't know what the fuck's in there.
Well, we got a lot on our plate tonight, guys. We got a couple of people we're picking up along the way. So heading to that interrogation room and going to get a spotlight in our face.
Hell yeah. Let's go tell the cops we did some shit we didn't really do. Fuck.
Claustrophobia, man. Those guys are badass. The song War Stomp, definitely dig those guys from Brazil, I believe. Very killer. Well, we've got a couple of guests on here with us tonight. We got Tex and AR Hayes with us. How's it going, gentlemen?
Yeah.
We're having a ball already.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, we've had a couple of mishaps, but hey, we're for a group of older guys. We're hanging in there with the youngsters, with the technology, the best that we possibly can. But good to have you both on here with us.
Yes, sir.
And then AR,
Thanks,
it's your birthday today, AR. I figured you'd have a birthday hat on.
You just had to talk about old men and then bring up my birthday, didn't you? I mean, wow.
I told you though, dude. Wow. I got you by 10 years. So
what an introduction. Hey, by the way, you're getting old.
Hey, old ass.
I thought you'd have a birthday hat on or something. So, but happy birthday, Hayes. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So tonight we're going to be talking about a somewhat controversial topic, and that's false confessions. And it's been on our list since we started back in 2018. I just, never knew how to tackle something like this on our channel or on our podcast because, we pretty much have done serial killers, cannibals, like a lot of crazy stuff. And this is a little different. But, I think that, because we've done prison escapes with UTEX, we've done paranormal visits. We've done some different things. And so I thought, hey, it's time, let's do it. And we've got Chris and Joey here who have experiences in this subject in general. And then we've got
what crime?
We've got Joey and AR, both former convicts. Tex is a corrections officer. So what a great ensemble, I think, to pull this thing together and dig into this because it's a real thing. And I just wanted to, talk about it just as some laymen here, just kind of talking about something that's in the news a lot. When it happens, it's a big deal. I mean, Tex is a corrections officer. What's been your experience in general with law enforcement and in your experience as a corrections officer?
Yeah, sure. First thing I like to tell people is as a corrections officer, we're part of the law enforcement community. We're part of the law enforcement community, but we're not actually law enforcement. Kind of like a dispatcher or something like that.
Sure.
You're part of the truck driver community, but you're not a truck driver. You're dispatch.
Yeah, man. To be honest, my experience with law enforcement has been kind of hit and miss. I mean, there's a ton of people wearing badges. They want to do good, make a impact in their community and stuff. But then there's a lot of stinking festering assholes out there too that are corrupt and abuse their position all the time.
Right.
You know, so I mean, I guess it's just like with anything else in life. But then again, you're held, or you're supposed to be held to a higher standard because you're you know,
in an
policing the
authority
community.
position.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. What about in the military, Tex? You were in the Army. What do you think about your experiences dealing with MPs in the Army as that drunk private trying to sneak back into the barracks after curfew?
That was going to be my example, man.
Why does that not surprise me?
I really only had one run-in with the MPs, and that was at Fort Hood. It was the night before I took off for Korea. You know, we all went out, got hammered, and came stumbling drunk in the East Gate, kind of tearing up the golf course area. I don't know if you remember that golf course.
I do.
But
I do.
Yeah. And yeah, my first sergeant had to come pick me up from the station. They
shit.
tackled our asses and cuffed us, and yeah.
Like, God
took
damn
us
it.
off.
I'm sure that was a pleasant experience dealing with the first sergeant like that.
I'm sure being a soldier and it's
it
MPs
was.
and not civilian police, it's even worse.
It is worse.
Like
it
getting
is.
reprimanded or whatever. Like, yep.
Totally.
Now, AR, you've been on the other side of that point of view, you know, from Tex talking about the corrections officers, and you talk about that a lot on your channel, Convicts Thoughts. Now, looking back as an ex-con in general terms, what was your overall experience with law enforcement?
No, he ended up being in cuffs, it seemed like. You know, for the most part, it really does come down to the individual and how they act with most officers. So I typically, if you got me, I was respectful about it, and I just took the heat for my responsibility. But trust me, I've had some melees with them too, which you wish you could have avoided. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, and like Tex was saying, you know, like in any profession, you're going to have some good and some bad. And unfortunately, though, like we talk about with police and police corruption stories, I mean, that they've got the ability to like completely fuck up somebody's life in a bad way with some really shitty things that have happened. And we're going to talk about some of those things. I mean, I think one of the parts of this topic that I found interesting as I was putting this together is how much our past experiences are going to dramatically change our perspective on this subject. You know, and obviously as we get older, people change. And like in the case of AR and Joey, you know, you guys have come out of that and proceeded on with your life and are able to change. And some people can't do that. And I think those experiences are obviously going to affect how we look at law enforcement. And, you know, when you reach the age that I am, because I think I'm the oldest here tonight, I'm at that fuck it age, you know, like it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't give a shit, you know. It's
You're
funny.
like more of the fuck it age, like, yeah, fuck it, let's live life. Not the fuck it age, like, fuck it, I can get away with this shit.
Right. So, but Chris, I mean, you've had some issues with law enforcement and dealt with at the county level.
Yeah.
So what about your experiences with this?
In the words of NWA, fuck police, fuck the police. No, I mean, I've had my issues with the cops, like, whatever. Because, I mean, I've done my crimes. I fucking got busted with weed when it was illegal. I've had DUIs. It got dropped because it didn't happen, but I fucking went to jail in Chicago for fucking heroin and shit. But that was the worst time ever. The Chicago police do not fuck around, dude. Like,
were you at the Cook County jail?
Yeah, I spent 12 days in Cook County. But yeah, like I said, it was only county shit. But them Chicago police don't fuck around. I went to jail for saying the word what. That's it.
Wow.
So I got kicked in the stomach while I was in booking and everything. Like,
wow. I've met some awesome ass cops throughout my life, but a lot of times, man, those dudes just like take their authority and they hold it high like this.
Right. and they'll do whatever they want to get whatever they want out of you most of the time.
Yeah, and that obviously is wrong, and that's what we were talking about. And Joey, not to leave you out of this discussion, and we talk about this every now and then when you bring up your time in prison, and you've made obviously huge changes in your life. But what do you think about how people perceive law enforcement today as when you were roaming those streets in Mattoon back in the day?
I mean, it's obviously way different now with technology and body cams and accountability and shit, because cops used to be able to get away with a lot more dirty shit, and I think when I was growing up, when I was having my most run-ins with the law, I didn't even look at them like they were all corrupt motherfuckers. I just looked at them, it was like me against them, because I knew that I was always doing something dirty. I was dealing drugs, or I was doing something that I wasn't supposed to be doing probably. So I always knew that I was on the defense from the cops.
Right.
But also, as I got older, there were a couple standout ones, of course, that became like RoboCop motherfuckers, where you're like, man, that dude's just power tripping. You got to stay away from him because he'll be on some bullshit. And then come to find out generations later, the kids are still talking about that same dick, but now it's harder for them, because now pop out and people can see how these guys are, and it's good for the ones that are cordial and are respectful and do their job correctly. But man, them ones that are power tripping and fucking take it to another level, everybody can see that and they get held accountable now. So
that's a great point. I watch a ton of that police body cam stuff on YouTube, and I think it also helps them because there's some assholes out there.
Oh yeah, there are definitely people
plenty of fools out there dealing with it. I told you that story about the one lady that said she had to shit when the guy pulled her over, and she bent over and shit right out of dash cam, caught the whole thing. So I mean, they're dealing with that kind of nonsense. So it's good to have the camera, right? For both.
It is, but what else is crazy? I look or a situation. Like nowadays with the cameras, because people are auditing the cops, and they want to fucking be like, oh, these are my rights and you can't fuck it. These guys are fucking crazy doing shit. And they're like, they'll straight up be on the fucking street filming, fuck you, fucking flip off the cops, say a bunch of shit to them because there's nothing the cops supposed to be able to do. And that's all fine and dandy. But when I was growing up, never in my life would I have ever thought to pull no shit like that. Not because I respected the law, but because why the fuck would I bring that kind of heat on myself for zero reason? I want them to go do their thing, and I want to do my thing. And now it's different. Now people want to like
instigate.
Oh, look at me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and it's like, man, get the fuck out of here.
No, I hear what you're saying, because I see them on YouTube. They won't even roll their window down. I mean, you want to talk about disrespect. I mean, we're going to talk about some bad cops here, but we all know there's plenty of good ones too, and many more good ones than bad. Just like, as Tech said, there's bad corrections officers, there's bad office employees, the Amazon drivers, there's a lot of great ones, but then there's that douchebag that throws your package into the puddle. You know what I mean? It's just, it's in all walks of life. You're going to have that,
And one last thing I wanted to say was when it comes to corrections officers, my feelings were way different than they were about cops. Like, corrections officers were cool to me. I did my time right, and I respected them, and they respected me. The ones that were assholes, they're going to be assholes. That's how they are, and you can stay out of their way. But yeah, correctional officers had way more respect to me for somebody that can go home and lay their head down than a cop can, in my opinion.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Now, for me, I had, a few issues with law enforcement when I was 18. It was minor stuff, and my mom worked for an attorney who ended up representing.
Fucking goddamn rich boy over here.
No,
getting all
far
lawyered.
from a rich
He gets
boy.
one little bitty charge and he gets all lawyered up and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I told you the story about the golf carts on the golf course and jumping ramps and all that. So, yeah, did some dumb shit, but got out of it. But my dad was a parole officer for over 20 years. He was old school when it came to discipline. So my experience is obviously going to be different. And I think in any group of people, you're going to see what we're seeing here is a wide range of attitudes about it because we've all had different experiences with it. But my default is to trust them. but the more and more I do of these corruption stories, the less and less I feel like I can trust them.
He's gonna do another fucking karaoke, but it's gonna be trust the police, trust the police.
Now, Tex, when it comes to police interrogations, I mean, most people assume that somebody's guilty when they confess, but what do you think about that?
Man, if you take it like face value, right? I was brought up to believe if I tell you something, if I confess to something, I did it.
Right.
But like you said, man, getting into all this true crime stuff and watching interrogations and or interviews, not interrogations, I guess they call them.
Right.
But you know, they're interrogations. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's human nature to assume that, you know, if I confess to something,
I did it.
That's my word. I did it. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I would think.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, I think, what most of us would think. It's just human nature, I think, to make those assumptions. But, you know, in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. And sometimes people forget that. I mean, like some of the people we see in the comments on YouTube, when it comes to Brian Koberger in the Idaho 4 case, I mean, this guy's going in front of potentially in front of a fucking firing squad, and people want to put him out there like right now before the trial's even started. And AR, I know you and I have talked about this. I mean, any comments you want to make about that presumption of innocence, and what is it like from that convict side of the house?
Well, you know, years ago, there was more integrity in things that happened, even though we still know there was a lot of shit that happens in the interrogation room. There was more integrity that went back and forth. In today's world, it's all a game now. There's no integrity. There's no respect. It's fair game. And I see a lot of people get bulldozed into what's considered to be a confession. And it's actually not. It's just turned into a confession because law enforcement begins to cut corners and they think they got the upper hand. But, you know, I come out of a background of organized crime, so I could sit in an interrogation room and play games with them because I was narcissistic just the same they are. So we could go back and forth into that. You're not gonna bulldoze me. We'll sit here for 48 hours to just have some coffee and tea and whatever. But in today's society, now it's getting blatantly worse that literally we are not considered innocent until proven guilty.
No, you're
anymore.
guilty
The minute
already.
you're in that interrogation room because you're guilty. And they're not going to let you go till you say you're guilty, or else they're going to keep beating on you and beating on you and beating on you. And it's not fair. It's not fair.
No, it's not at all. I mean, Chris, I know you're super into those police interrogation videos like all of us. I mean, what is it about that fascinates you, that makes you like watching that stuff?
I like just like when you, because I like it when you can tell that a person's straight up guilty of what they're in there for. And they're just like talking all smooth and shit. And then all of a sudden, like the officer just like drops this one thing and you see it in their face like, oh, fuck, I'm game over, dude.
Right.
Just the different reactions. And even like, if you know they know they're not guilty. And then the cops find out, they come back in like, oh, never mind, or some shit like that, dude. I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen one of those. It's usually the other way around. Somebody falling apart because they actually did it, and that, like you said, that moment when they realize it.
Yeah, it's like the Chris Watts video when he sees the shit on the TV.
Oh yeah,
the camera video.
Yeah.
That you instantly sees like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
seeing
done.
that shit.
I'm done. Yeah.
I actually had.
What up?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What about Henry Lee Lucas, man? You're always talking about his strawberry shakes and
the Pall Malls.
Yeah, playing the cops, you know,
Confession King.
Playing that whole game. AR, what were you going to say, dude?
I had a cop actually come in after 24 and a half hours of us going back and forth, and I kept cussing at him, telling him I am innocent, man. And they kept beating me up. He came in and he cuffed me up, walked me to the door, and said, oh, yeah, by the way, you're not involved, and unhooked the cuffs and let me walk out. Jesus. But he had to cuff me up that one last time just to prove his point, like, we're on to you, buddy, we're on to you. And it's like, no, you're not. You're uncuffing me. and I'm on my
out.
way.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
Holy shit.
That's messed up.
Wow.
That's messed up. Joey, I know you, of all of us, probably like the police interrogation stuff the most, but I know that Russell Williams confession, that's got to be one of the most, I mean, we talked about that. We did the podcast on that dude, but like Chris is saying, that moment when he just starts falling apart, I mean, that's epic.
That's like a golden age of interrogations, and the Colonel Russell Williams is, you know, definitely one of the top tier from that time, because exactly like you said, just the realization that comes over some of these people's faces is just amazing. Also, I also like the people who are blatantly lying, but the cops still can't fucking get what they need out of them. So it's like, God, these guys are so fucking full of shit, but they're going to end up having to walk out of here. And you always hear the old thing, well, if these motherfuckers had just asked for a lawyer, then fucking they wouldn't have to deal with this shit, you know? Well, if they asked for the lawyer, I wouldn't be watching this shit and getting amusement. So thank you for those guys.
Come on, man.
But it comes, like AR was saying, though, narcissism is a huge part of that, because people that think that, you know, that they're not going to let the cops get above their level, they're going to be like, no, I'm going to fucking feel you out, and I'm going to give you bullshit, and you're going to deal with it yourself, same way you're putting me through fucking bullshit right now.
Yeah. Right. And you know what kills me is these attorneys that don't ask for an attorney. It's like, because they think they're the smartest guy in the room. And you think like Murdoch, right? I mean, that guy was 3 different police interrogations. I mean, he had his attorney with him, but I mean, he was out there. I mean, it just total narcissist. Good analogy of the narcissism thing, because I think you see that a lot with some of these guys that get, you know, in these videos that we watch. And I really love watching the behavior panel on YouTube. I mean, those guys are really awesome at reading that body language. And I like watching the interrogation videos now with some of that knowledge. And I've even incorporated it into my writing with body language to color a scene to make it more, to tell it without show, without or tell, not show, not tell is what they always say in writing.
Right.
But watching that Reid technique, that's what the tool that the police now use, the military uses it, and they get, you know, pretty significant results. But some people are not, you know, they don't like it. And I've got a book about it, and it is pretty interesting. But, you know, little things that they'll do, you know, getting close to the suspect, putting a bunch of papers in a folder so it looks like it's evidence, you know. And
dude, come on, we're just fucking talking.
Isn't it classic though? Didn't the Reid technique, the guy that it was actually, you know, the detective's name was Reid or whatever,
right?
But the case that he made famous and it'd be called the Reid technique ended up getting overturned for a forced confession. I'm pretty sure that's a true thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't know that.
You'd have to look into it, but I'm pretty positive that's a true fact.
Crazy.
The Reid technique was founded on a false confession.
Well,
interesting. Wow. I did not know that, Joey.
It doesn't change the techniques and the, you know, the uses for what they do. Obviously work.
No, that's
but
fascinating.
it is pretty funny.
That is funny. And Tex, I mean, that Reid technique does break people down, but what do you think about the ethics? I mean, AR was just talking about 24.5 hour long interviews. I mean, do you think there needs to be some kind of parameters here? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about the Reid technique, but I looked at a little bit of it before we came on. And I know the Supreme Court, they disagree with me, but it's unethical as fuck, man. It's hours and hours and hours long. First, they try to be your buddy and, you know, what can we do for you? Tell us what happened. And then, hey, let's take a break. Come back from the break, and now it's go time. They put all their shit together, and they are hammering your ass. So I know I brought it up to you, Pete, but I watched this documentary called American Nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know if the rest of y'all have in it. There's that guy's interview, and he's trying to report that his girlfriend got fucking abducted. And like I said, first few hours they're, you know, buddy, what can we do for you? And then bam, he comes to the realization when they come back from break, they're trying to get him to confess. Yeah. And they are actually directly trying to get him to confess. Y'all need to watch that shit, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch
fucking
that.
Crazy.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. I didn't have a chance to watch it since you told me last night, but I'm definitely going to check it out because it's definitely fascinating. And AR, same question. I mean, you just were talking about a bad experience you had with that, but did you see a big difference from officer to officer doing those interrogations like that?
Oh yeah, especially in the mold of what I was being sought for. They rotated officers just about every hour, hour and a half. So
Mhm.
I'd get 2 new people in,
Oh,
and the
wow.
whole thing they're trying to do is break you down, and then they're making you comfortable, uncomfortable, turn up the heat, turn on the air, bring you coffee so that you have to pee, and then not let you go pee till they answer 5 more questions. I mean, then they would leave for an hour, and you'd fall asleep under the desk, and
Mhm.
they come wake you up. The techniques that they use, I get the point of them.
Right.
I see how it benefits them, but let me tell you, at the end of the day, across the board, because you're mentally breaking someone down to where they're tired, they're weak, they're cold, they're hot, they're thirsty, they got to pee, and you're taking away their privileges until they answer your questions.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I just literally got to the point I peed on the wall in the interrogation room a couple of times.
Hell yeah.
It was like you
fuck it.
guys are playing a horrible game. Well, I'm going to play one back. And then, I'll ask for my lawyer after I pee on your wall, and then we'll just
Piss all
go
over
from
your
there.
shit, motherfucker.
Well, can I, man?
You go in with the mindset that you think you're going to learn something and what they might have on you. At the end of the day, nobody's going to come out ahead in that game when it's if you got a snitch or something in that room, that's something completely different.
Yeah,
But
right.
somebody that's willing to pee on the wall and take whatever they're going to dish out, you just go with it.
I'm gonna throw this challenge out to anybody listening or watching this, that if you could find me a video of AR Hayes pissing on the interrogation room wall, I'll give you a free Murder Metal Mayhem t-shirt to the first one, only the first one to get it to me. So challenge has been made. See if you could find that video of AR peeing on the wall of the interrogation room. That's classic. And it's kind of funny. I mean, when I got hurt, and it wasn't funny that I got hurt, but when I got hurt back in 92, when I was in the Army, right before that, I was debating whether I wanted to re-enlist. And in basic training, and I'm sure you remember this, Tex, we had this crazy test we had to take called the D-Lab, the Defense Language Aptitude Battery. It was a test, oral, you heard it. And it was taught, the test was in a made up language. And they told you at the beginning of the test the rules of this simple language. And then the whole test was in another language. It was crazy. But as I really listened, I was able to figure it out. Like, it wasn't that, it was hard, but it was like it made sense to me. And back after I got sent to Fort Hood, they called me into the commander's office. I thought I was in trouble. And the guy's like, I don't know how the fuck you did this, but you passed that D-Lab. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There was only 2 of us that passed it in the whole room, I think. And so I was looking to go to the Presidio out in California, learn a foreign language, and then change my MOS, which is your job in the Army, to interrogator and do my training at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. And I could have very easily been involved in interrogations from that side of the house. But, life happens, and I got hurt and got out, and now I'm here with you guys.
Now here we are.
I wouldn't be here doing this with you. Now, Chris, it seems crazy that the police can lie.
Oh, the cops can do what they want.
But they do.
We all
yes,
know
they
that.
can.
What
They
do you
can
think
do whatever
about
the
it?
fuck they want. But yeah, like straight up, you sitting in that interrogation room, they could fucking straight up tell you, oh yeah, your mom's fucking being held hostage, and if you don't confess to this, and they can get away with it. Like,
Or tell you they got you on video.
Yeah, I got
or
video.
We got your DNA.
Yeah, and none of it's there, but in your head is like, wait, do they? Why would I be there? Like, hold on. Was I there that time? I was drunk that night. I know I wasn't there, though. Fuck.
Right. I mean, I could see it to some degree. They need to solve these crimes, like AR was saying, but you know, they need to do it in a way that's ethically right. And I just don't agree with that either.
I really honestly think fucking False Confessions are based off of 1980s action movies, like Lethal Weapon and shit. They're just like, tell me what you did. And they just slam a bag of powder on the baby powder on the table. And they're like,
there you go.
I know you got, they're like, oh shit.
I mean, especially if the accused is a minor. I mean, we saw that with Brendan Dassey up in Wisconsin, that Stephen Avery case, making a murder. I mean, that was just some bullshit. This intellectually challenged kid, no parent there, no lawyer. I mean, really, really messed up. I don't agree with that at all. Joey, I mean, how common do you think these false confessions are today? I mean, you get the Innocence Projects out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how common they are, but they're definitely there. And it's going to be interesting because you get the Innocence Projects and all that stuff obviously came out at a time when DNA was popular and all that.
Right.
Now you can go back and find all this shit that was wrong. But looking from here forward, now you've got fucking mitochondria DNA, you got fucking, you know, genetic DNA, fucking they'll go all different kinds of routes. They'll fucking, we were talking about last week, like animal saliva, fucking solving crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got your phone. They know every fucking step you take.
Oh, they know where I'm at right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be interesting in the future how many false confessions are, because a person's going to either have all the fucking, you know, evidence right there in their fucking face against them in a courtroom,
right,
or they're not going to have enough evidence against them in a courtroom and they're going to get out of there. It's you know, the cop's sway, I think, is going to be less and less as technology picks up, I guess is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Not until you get Ed 209.
Well, the problem is you still got the people that talk too much, no matter what type of evidence they have or don't have. You got people that run their mouth,
right? Exactly.
That not only get themselves hemmed up, but they get other people hemmed up. And then it comes out they had no part of it. They were just trying to show off. And it's like, you just gave me up, and you're not even a part of what's going on. So there's a false confession method, too.
Interesting.
Get that speedy mouth that's running his mouth that gets 10 people hemmed up for no reason.
Well, like you were saying, AR, when we were talking about Koberger with this co-defendant thing, you were like, that's his worst nightmare because they're going to be running their mouth, you know, if that were the case, if he had a co-defendant. I also thought it was interesting they claimed Chicago is #1 in false confessions. I find it so hard to believe here in Illinois that would be the case. But Chicago is just freaking ridiculous with all the shootings up there and all the nonsense. But, you know, it's Chicago, I guess. But
that's why they.
I mean, their corruption. When all your governors go to fucking prison.
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
Why would you want to be a governor? Why would you ever want to be a governor in Illinois?
Especially these rich guys. Like, why don't you go sit on a yacht and drink Mai Tais? And what the hell why do you want to be the freaking mayor of that shithole? You know, that's just ridiculous.
Because they're fucking getting money. That's why they're going to fucking prison. They're like, the next one's like, I know where they fucked up. I could get away with this.
Yeah. Well,
Government Illinois.
The narcissist, going back to the narcissism thing. I mean, there you go, right? I mean, I don't know a politician that probably isn't a narcissist. Now, Tex, from your experience in corrections, I know that we always hear everyone in prison is not guilty, right? They're innocent. But I mean, I know, you know, that this does happen where inmates are exonerated. I mean, what is your experience now in that field for a dozen years or so? What do you think about that?
Well, I went and pulled some statistics, and then that got me interested. So I pulled some national statistics.
Okay.
The top reasons for exonerations are #1, DNA.
Right.
Number 2, guess what? False confessions. Number 3 is Number 3 is false accusations. Number 5 is perjury. Then it's mistaken identity, official misconduct, which I thought would be higher, and bad forensic evidence. And since 1989, the 5 states with the most exonerations: Texas with 363, Illinois with 303.
Oh, we're number 2? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, but you're like twice as big as Illinois. So really I mean, per capita, right?
It must be Chicago, right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay, number 3 is New York with 281. Then comes in California with 205, and then Michigan with 99. And in those 5 top states, the number of years that those people that got exonerated were in prison, if you total it up, it's 10,191.5 years.
Oh my God.
That they were all locked up before
That's
they were exonerated.
insane. Jeez.
Yeah.
God
Wow.
damn,
Fucking
that's
crazy,
a lot
man.
of time.
That is crazy. That really
Yep.
is. That really is. And AR, what about you when you were inside? How many inmates that you know of that you dealt with? Did you deal with any that had fallen prey to this false confession stuff?
No, I did. I bumped into them. The problem when you're actually in the joint is you see it come up, but it's the appeals and whether somebody's willing to take the case on to fight for you. So you kind of see it. I try to explain to people. I did 9,650 days in the penitentiary. That's not a big number in people's minds until you start calculating out how long that actually is.
Right.
And I've only seen 3 people actually get to the stage of somebody taking it back through the appeal process and fighting the fact that things came up that showed they were innocent. Long for it to happen, most just give up.
Right.
And
It's
the
like,
people
well,
that
this is
don't
my
give up,
life
they
now.
just, yeah, and a lot of people that don't give up, they just don't find somebody willing to go fight for them on that. I mean, I get the Innocence Project and how important that is. They don't take on many. They take on a few.
Right.
And then they boot a few of those off of their plate and say, well, we can't prove it. Sorry, here you are.
Right.
Right.
You know, I did 7 years locked up on a charge I had no involvement with. We reached out and reached out and reached out to try to figure out how we could combat it. They said, hey, you were found guilty, buddy. That's it. That's the end of the road. You know, your appeals are over. You're done.
Wow.
So then what do you do?
Right.
You know, what do you do at that point? You jump up and down and yell that you're innocent? Well, then you piss off the COs like Tex. And
It's like
you're trying to build a
Yeah.
decent relationship with them
Right.
so that you can keep your privileges of phones and different things. They don't want to hear that you're innocent.
Right.
They may believe you are, but
they're
they
just
don't want to
doing
hear
their
it.
job.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I don't
the
have any
CO's
power to
fault.
do anything.
Right.
Right,
That's
exactly.
true. That's
So-
true.
Like, I'm
You just
just
want to do your
here,
job
man.
and go home at the end of the day, you know. Now I watched
So
several.
I saw a hand,
Go ahead, AR.
you know, just less. I saw just less than a handful in all my years, and I think I saw one get out.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
it had to be pretty few and far between. Now, I watched several documentaries about this, and I saw this TED talk about it as well. Very fascinating to hear from these inmates that have been through this, but also absolutely horrible. I mean, life shattered, kids growing up without parents. I mean, really bad shit. And I was, you know, super interested in this concept when we did the West Memphis 3 case back in the early days of the podcast. I mean, as a metalhead, you know, those kids got locked up because they wore friggin' black concert shirts,
And they were
and
being
one of
metal.
them wrote some weird poetry and shit like that.
Didn't we all do that?
And that could have been me. I
Yep.
mean, you could read all my writing from back in that time, and I'm amazed I wasn't on death row over there with old Damian Eccles in the West Memphis 3 case. That was what really got me interested, because one of them confessed, and that's what kind of brought the whole ship down. Was he said that they all did it
Right.
when they didn't, you know,
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we did it.
just like AR was saying. Now, in addition, you know, different kind of false confession here in the Delphi murder case. You got that defendant, Richard Allen. He alleges that the guards at the prison where he was kept were Odinists who wore patches on their uniforms. And if you're not familiar with the case, the Odinism thing is a thing of a part of that case. And they threatened him. They said they were going to harm him and his family if he didn't confess to his wife on the prison phone. Now, of course, everybody makes that out like, oh, this guy's just crying. He's saying he's not guilty. We've heard that before. But then they found out that the guards were wearing those patches. they are Odinists. And so that definitely makes you wonder. And that's kind of a false confession, but not under, the police, but in the corrections. So, Tex, I know that obviously, like you said, there's always, some bad ones in the bunch. And that sounds like these guys are pretty awful.
Yep. Sure does, man.
Just an interesting one I wanted to throw in there. Actually, I was talking with Andrew Myers today, the attorney, and told him we were doing this episode. And he's like, "You're going to bring up the Delphi case, right?" I didn't even think of that. So I added it to the notes real quick.
Right.
Now, Chris, we've talked about Stephen Avery in that Netflix series, Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
What do you think about how all that went down? I mean, I know we did the episode, but it's been a while ago.
I still don't know. I think Brandon fucking got kind of railroaded a little bit. But as far as everything else, I don't know. But I feel like they kind of coerced that kid into saying something that he shouldn't have been saying and really didn't do. He just confused as fuck. But
yeah,
I don't know. The whole case itself, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of torn on that one. I know we covered the case, but
I know that sounds cold-hearted when I say whatever, but
no, I know what you mean. It's been a while since we've done that one. But anybody want to chime in? Because that Making a Murderer was huge on Netflix. Anybody want to throw in something on that?
They picked a weak link, and they turned the entire case into a guilty verdict based off of a weak link that probably had no idea even what he was doing or saying. He's just trying to please the people sitting in front of him so he could go out the door and go home.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it don't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And the officers doing that interrogation absolutely know that. They know it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, he's just
that kid got bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's terrible. But, like I said, I could see both sides of the argument. We know the police have a tough job to do, and there's very few people that want to actually do that job. But that doesn't mean they could just do what the hell they want. And it's too bad that a few rogue cops ruin it for the rest, because there are some great police officers out there doing, good work. I know, Tex, you and I interviewed Mick, that Australian police officer.
Yep.
And so, that was, that was fascinating. But Joey, I forgot to ask you, did you want to add anything to the false confessions? I know, did you run into any of that when you were inside?
Man, it's really hard to ask me that question coming from a state prison, especially in Illinois, because basically everybody I ran into was innocent. Fucking nobody did anything they did. Everybody was done bogus by the cops. And what I'm saying is, I guarantee there were a couple that were, like, don't get me wrong, but it's like the Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like, they're muddying the waters for these motherfuckers that really have real claims against, the fucking the shit that came against them that they didn't do. And everybody's like, man, this, that, and it's, so I don't know. I was a rare breed in there because, like, y'all know how I am.
You're like, yeah, this is what I did. I'll tell you what I did.
Yeah, I did. I was out there bogus. I was fucking doing all kinds of shit. I probably should have got way more time than what I got.
Right.
But and people just want to fucking do some sob story about shit. It's like, man. Then you get the people that's like don't care about none of that shit, and they're the ones that have been in a little bit and know how to do their time. You don't talk about that shit after a while. Fucking. Yep. You hear about it a lot more from new guys coming in, and then if you're slick enough and you can hustle people and say that you're a prison lawyer, that's even better. You're like, oh, I can help you with your case. You can hook me up with this, that, and this, and you're not really doing shit because, like AR said, these motherfuckers ain't even really going to get back in. Maybe on a first appeal, maybe, and hardly ever. So
right,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was a prison lawyer for a long time. I made great story.
Oh, yeah.
I made great story. But
hell yeah.
I watched, like you said, the new people come in, and all they wanted to do was talk about their charges, why they were there, how long they were there for. It's like, dude, I've been here 14 years. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Like,
I've already heard this story 3 times.
It just always blew my mind. It's like, yeah, man, this cop, he pulled me over for this or whatever. And, I stopped at the stop or whatever it was. But the 3 grams of meth they found in your pocket and the gun under the seat,
Right.
like that's still that you don't have a license for. You're still bogus for that shit, and you got caught. Like, just deal with that fact and stop crying about it because nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
I used to tell people I grew up in the state that Sheriff Joe Arpaio was running the show.
Oh shit.
So everybody's freaking
Pink
guilty,
underwear
dude.
and
It
all that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. I got extradited in pink socks and pink underwear all the way back east to Georgia. And I walked onto the yard in Georgia,
Oh,
and everybody's
Jesus.
staring at me as I'm
that's
being
rough.
stripped out. But I just used to tell people that wanted to talk about their innocence, step in the back of the line, get a $200 bag of store, and I'll listen to your story tomorrow.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
Yeah, you were rolling in ramen noodles back in the day.
yeah, you're gonna pay me just to even listen to you.
Right.
So
That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious.
That's
But,
great, man.
I think, it's the fact that these guys have the ability to ruin somebody's life makes them, like Tex was saying, a higher standard. We should expect that out of these guys. But anyway, I mean, we could talk about this for hours, but we're just kind of hitting some of the high points. Anybody want to add anything? Anything we left out? Anybody want to throw into the ring?
I'm good.
I'm just
No.
glad I got to meet you guys.
Yeah,
You guys seem
AR.
like some good men.
Yeah.
I want to come on and shoot the shit with you guys some more, just
Oh,
so that we
dude.
can get, have some fun.
No, it's
Oh, yeah.
we have
Always-
techs on periodically. Love to have you in that
Yep.
rotation of people coming on here with us. So
Just to
You're
talk
always
some
welcome
You guys
here.
are a lot of fun, man. You guys are amazing. I've really enjoyed this. Very much enjoyed it. So
Thanks,
I appreciate you all.
Hell yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
AR.
brother, man.
Now, I did my research by watching several good documentaries covering cases like we talked about West Memphis 3, plus growing up with my dad, the parole officer, quite a
See,
bit
like
of
I said,
reading.
this guy's got cops on the sides, getting lawyered up. Got mom as a lawyer.
Hey, that
Dude,
last
yep.
name Altieri, I could have been in the mob too. I have some Sicilian blood in me. Do you, do your own research on this one? There's a lot of stuff out there, with the internet today, you can read so much about this stuff. So if this fascinates you, do some of that. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a case I bet a lot of people have not heard of, but I heard about it on YouTube. Courtney Gordon, he's a man from Queens, New York, who stabbed 4 members of his family to death and injured 2 cops in the process back in December. So very new.
Oh wait, is this new?
He was shot by police. So there's not going to be a trial or anything. And normally we don't do cases that are recent. We do them after they've been solved. And so we don't have to say allegedly every 10 seconds.
Right.
But this came up in the Idaho 4 discussions because the question was, could whoever did this do this in this ridiculous 10-minute span of time they're claiming these murders happened? And here's one where he did that in about that amount of time.
Right.
And so it's an interesting parallel there. But we're going to do that case next week. It's an interesting one. And so that'll be next week. And so, Joey, you got any? You said you didn't have, or you do have some page a days for us?
No, I don't have any page a day today, but I thought AR might want to plug his channel.
Yeah, AR, you got your
Yeah.
channel. You're a busy guy this week. You got a lot going on at Convicts Thoughts. What do you got going on this week? You want to plug anything?
We're having some fun this week. I'm getting back with Unfiltered Luckies. We're continuing our Idaho 4 spectrum and diving into some new videos there.
Awesome.
Harsh Reality. Sean from Harsh Reality will be on my channel on Thursday.
Awesome.
So that's pretty exciting.
That
Let
is
me tell you, that's
amazing.
exciting.
Awesome.
And so today is my birthday. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday. And then our
No shit.
15-year anniversary
Wow.
is the day after. So if
Oh,
you
wow.
don't hear from me, that means I'm not sober. I'm probably in jail.
Oh, I hope not, AR. We
Or
need
I'm
you.
just not sober and I'm
no.
naked in bed.
Yeah, no, but it's a privileged week. I'm humbled, even to be with you gentlemen. This was a great invite. I love it. I really am excited. And moving
Oh, yeah,
forward, I
man.
got more people reaching out that want to work with me, and hopefully we can keep doing it, keep having some fun.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
Good to meet
man.
you, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll link
thank
to
you.
AR's channel down below. So if you want to check it out, please do. But I think we've done our fair share of murdering tonight. I think it's time to crank up some heavy metal. So Tex, what the hell do we need to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you.
All right. Forever in
CK.
the memory of the great metal motherfucker. Speaking of the great metal motherfucker, I saw a police body cam video today from Danbury. And the neighborhood looked similar to Wild Man, but I couldn't see a street sign.
Oh, dude,
but I
how
was
fucked
dying.
up would that
I'm
be?
like, exactly. I thought, how crazy would that be? Some couple was in a stolen car, and they were claiming it was there. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I didn't get to watch the whole thing.
Also, speaking of CK, I am eating a generic brown sugar. You know the one I'm
Brown
talking
sugar,
about.
cinnamon
fucking,
brown sugar.
Yeah, cinnamon brown sugar, generic style for CK.
The one CK
was-
hated, right?
That was his favorite of it, every fucking thing ever.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, what do you got over there?
I have I got the frosted banana bread shit.
That's
That shit's
good
fucking
stuff.
fire,
Oh,
dude.
nice.
I got the
Yeah.
cookies and cream, which I dig. So we're eating Pop-Tarts because that's what we do in the metal segment. And it's just tradition, so we do that here. And because CK's gone, we now pass the horns every week, and it's my turn this week with the horns to pick the segment. And so I'm doing the band Morta Skuld. Definitely dig these guys. Started in 1990, as I mentioned earlier. Milwaukee. They did take a break from 99 to 2011, but came back with a fucking vengeance in 2012. They've released a ton of stuff, including 7 full-length albums, plus a bunch of splits, EPs, and comps. They've done a lot of that. They've opened up for a shit ton of fucking bands. Death, Slayer, Obituary, Napalm Death, I mean, a bunch of them. And they're currently on the UK label Peaceville Records. And the latest release, Creation Undone, is really good. I did a review of it. I posted it on our Facebook page. And hoping to do an interview with those guys. I've just been really busy, but would like to do one. The current lineup, Dave Greger on guitar and vocals. He's the only original member in the band. Scott Walecki on guitar, John Hill on bass, and Eric House is the drummer. This dude is a fucking beast, and he's also in Human Artifacts and was previously in Jungle Rot. So this dude is badass. These guys are just straight up old school death metal, really good. But check it out, Creation Undone. It's streaming. You can get it that way. I bought it digitally, but yeah, you can just check them out.
Give the band some money, yo. Buy it.
Help the band out. Buy some merch, I always say. So yeah, that's my segment there on Morta Skuld. Joey, what about the Lost Classic for us tonight?
Lost Classic, I'm going back to 1986.
Nice.
And Combat Records, and the album is Nuclear Assault Game Over.
Nice.
That's an awesome one. Fucking jam. The reason I brought it up is because I got a copy in the mail today. I got a cassette. But it's actually autographed by the band on the inside.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
pretty
fucking
cool.
fire, dude.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Dan Lilker
Yeah,
from Anthrax fame. Starting Nuclear Assault, New York City band.
I never, obviously he's done a lot of shit, but I didn't realize he had also been in the band The Ravenous, which Killjoy from Necrophagia was in that.
Right.
I think only on an album, but still, it's cool that he was on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Dan Lilker's a really nice guy. I've met him once. It was really super cool. only heard good things about him. So that's awesome. Real tall too.
Real tall.
Yeah. but
Which that's weird in the thrash scene. 'Cause back in the day, like
Anthrax, they're all like midgets.
and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. That's why he must have looked funny on stage with them. But Chris, you got the horns next week. Any idea what you're gonna do?
Yeah, San Diego. Fucking goddamn Austrian death machine.
Okay. Sounds good. And what have we been listening to lately? Joey, what have you been listening to?
I was listening to I don't know, a lot of different shit.
I know, right?
Butthole
Sometimes it's like-
Surfers. I know I was jamming some of that. I was actually jamming fucking Roger Waters, his recording of The Wall, which I thought that's always pretty cool to revisit that.
Yeah.
Floyd being my favorite band. And then also they've been dropping little bits and pieces, but Brodekin's got a new album coming out, and they released a track off of it. And so Tennessee, Brodekin, that's fucking dope-ass brutal death metal, so check that out.
Hell yeah. Chris, what about you? Anything you want to point out?
Actually, yeah, I was looking. I was like, oh yeah, I remember. I was jamming some Mr. Bungle the other night. Some fucking Corn.
Oh, yeah.
That fucking goddamn. Oh, what was it? Hold on, let me find this. No. Oh yeah, the new Party Cannon single that fucking came out, dude.
Oh,
and that
yeah,
album artwork on that shit is fucking
Yeah.
crazy fucking good, dude. But yeah, the new Party Cannon
Yeah.
I've been jamming, fucking so good. But yeah, and then there's been kids, so like it was nice. We're outside. It's like, well, the kids are listening to music now. Here we go. Oh yeah,
Nice.
good shit.
That's cool. I've been checking out this band Leather Lung. This PR company sent them to me called Graveside Grin. I mentioned them last week. It's good stuff. Morta Skuld, Creation Undone, I mentioned that. And Decryptor, a band from British Columbia. These guys are badass. Death thrash. Imminent Ruin, brand new album just dropped on Friday. Really good. So I've been talking to the drummer about doing an interview with them and getting some shit going.
Fucking A.
Yeah. 666 Seconds of Metal. I've been doing those with Shane. A lot of good content. We just did episodes on Inhuman Condition and Morta Skuld. This week we're dissecting the classic, of course, Slayer's Rain and Blood. I'm doing that one. And we're doing all this stuff on their metal channel. So go down below and check that out. There's a lot of good stuff there. Still trying to build up those subscribers. So if you go on there, give it the videos a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment. It helps the videos move up in the algorithm, so we appreciate that. Speaking of Slayer, did you guys see that they're getting back together for some shows this year? Was kind of crazy. Yeah.
No way.
Nobody ever seen that.
Yeah.
Why would that happen?
But I mean,
Oh,
it
shit.
sounded like Araya was just done. Like he just didn't want to do it anymore. So I was surprised with this one. But
It is funny because Kerry King literally
talking
said,
shit.
I wouldn't hang out with that dude.
I know.
He said, I would have a beer with Dave Lombardo, but fuck that dude, Tom Araya.
yeah, I thought that was funny too because he'd been talking some shit about him. But yeah, so apparently Tom Araya's wife just
After he
nudged
dropped
him.
one single, Kerry King, he dropped
Right,
one single.
one-
Tom's like, no, let's do this.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, that Marquez Agueda that did that fucking vocals on,
On
that
that
Kerry
fucking
King
hands,
single.
Idle Hands song,
Yeah.
dude.
That's
like-
fucking
that is
badass. That
Slayer
dude's
as
wicked.
fuck.
He gives fucking Tom Araya a run, man. That's interesting. So yeah, that is funny how that works out. But yeah. What's the latest with your distro and Goremonger, Joe? Anything you want to mention?
No, but maybe this time next week we might have some physical copies, or maybe not next week, but in a couple weeks we'll have some physical copies of the Murder Metal Mayhem
Awesome.
Distasteful commercial album.
So you
yeah,
got that?
getting
all
You
of
got that to unzip and everything?
Well, I've got it. I haven't opened it up yet. I was at work today, but tomorrow I'm off, so that's
Okay.
the plan of action.
Yeah, let me
Get
know
that
if you have
fucking
any
done.
issues.
Yeah, I'll check it out and see. I think it looks okay, but
Good,
yeah,
good.
we'll see.
All right, our 666 Club, that's our Patreon. We appreciate all of you that are
all
members.
the Patreons out there. Come
You
on.
guys are awesome. You can hear the stuff early. You get the interviews as soon as I do them or as soon as I can get them out to you.
I just want you guys to be Patreons because these cheap beers ain't cheap.
Everything's getting more expensive, right? So, all right. Well, very good. We've done plenty of metal tonight. So, Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's head into Mayhem. Hey, you want to make your shoes look like fucking mirrors? You want to make a good impression on some broad at the club? Well, come see me. I'm Tommy. I'm the owner of Tommy Spitshine. I got multiple locations across the city to get you looking your fucking best. A nice shoe shine shows you care. So don't look like some fucking gavone with scuffed up fucking shoes. And also, don't listen to Billy Bats and his fucking bullshit about me getting my fucking shine box. Fuck that piece of shit. He's taking a fucking dirt nap anyway. Let my crew make your shoes look like fucking mirrors today at Tommy Spitshine. Oh, and Billy, go home and get your fucking shine box. Oh, but wait, you can't, because you're dead, you fucking prick.
Wow. All right. That was me, Spitshine Tommy Spitshine. Classic shit we did for that Henry Hill episode
Jesus
we did last
Christ.
year. Ridiculous.
Shine box.
And before that was Morta Skuld and the song Self-Destructive Emotions. Those guys are fucking sick, man. There's some heavy-ass fucking riffs in that album. All right. Well, we are in Mayhem. And this is where we tell some stories. And Chris, you had one to share with us.
Yeah, as I was telling you guys off mic, fucking, it's not so much mayhem; it's just a story of metal brotherhood, and
That's
it's
a good
fucking
thing.
awesome.
That's a good thing.
So the Municipal Waste Show, Nick Rott, Ghoul, fucking goddamn Dead Heat show. So a few days after the show's over, is after we recorded the podcast, somebody, one of the buddies we went with, had posted a picture of us all in my garage and shit. And fucking motherfucking Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder himself, fucking trash. He fucking sends me a screenshot of that photo with two people circled. He's like, "Hey, these guys. I'm pretty sure I saw them at the Poblanos when we went in to get burritos." I was like, gonna go talk to them. We ordered our food, but they were gone. And he's like, "I found a shirt and a poster sitting at their table. Pretty sure it was theirs." He's like, "I went out to go walk around and find them. They weren't at the venue, whatever." So I have his stuff at my house. I'm like, hell yeah. So I get a hold of Danny. I text him. I was like, "Did you guys lease shit?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, we looked all over for it." So it was their shit. So Trash is like, "I can send it or whatever, dude." So Trash, like, as a fucking metalhead champion coming out to meet, he saw a friend that fucking forgot their shit. Like, the first time he's ever met Danny and Mark, whatever, he's just like, "I got you taken care of. I got your shit." And then he gets a hold of me. He's like, "All right, you know who these people are." Like, real good. So good looking out, Trash. Necro Cannibal Ass Grinder for getting fucking the metalheads their fucking merch back.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. Yeah, I love hearing stuff like that. That's definitely great. And that's what makes metal, I think, special beyond any genre, because the dudes that are into metal are so used to getting the short end of the stick, nobody giving a fuck, or just treated like crap because we're into metal. And so I think that tends to make the people into it kind of gel and want to help each other out. More so than the jerks, like that one band Threaten we were talking about with the dude being an ass. You know, that was a unique situation. So very cool. Well, 666 Seconds of Murder. I've been cranking these out. Idaho 4, Delphi. Did an interview with Strange Suspicion. I did one I mentioned with A.R. Hayes. We're doing this new deep true crime deep cut series that are longer form videos that are not able to cover in 666 seconds. They've been a hit. So, you know, we got the YouTube channel, link to that down below. And like I mentioned earlier, we hit 5,000 subscribers, last night. So that's super cool.
Hell yeah.
Milestone there. So, all right. Well, we got a killer cage match to get to tonight. That's where we got a list of 100 killers we came up with. 100 objects for him to fight with.
Oh, you broke the bong out. Nice.
Surprised you waited this long.
It's the bubbler. Yeah.
Oh, I can't see you on the video right now. I just heard the bubbles. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
So 100 killers, 100 objects for him to fight with, a variable in the cage, and a song playing while they kill each other in the steel cage. And we have our random numbers generated by our Facebook group fans. So what do we got, Chris?
So tonight we have our author friend Sue Roven. She's a great author. Go check her out. We also have Ray 815 Posse McFalls and Colin Mac Daddy Rogers. What's up?
Yeah, okay. And the McCormick's is out though. I don't know if that's no.
I just want to fuck with these guys.
Yeah, I can tell. We got another great battle though going on in the steel cage tonight, Joey. What do we got? It's interesting.
Albert Fish, who loves to put shit in his groin. And we got him going up against Tilly Devine, who might happily put something in his groin.
Right.
Yeah, cutthroat razor. And they have a couple of objects interesting tonight, Chris. One we've never had in there before, and one we've seen many times.
Well, they got a shake weight we've seen in there a few times.
Right.
But they also got a bottle of Texas Pete's hot sauce.
Ooh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We'll say it's one of the big bottles, too.
It's
big bottles, like the A1, like that. All right, and the variable, Joey. This is interesting. We just had him on here.
Yep. That would be our buddy Tex after drinking 12 beers and doing 6 shots of McCormick's with Chris at the Nation.
Oh boy, that should be fun.
We fucked up.
And this song that's playing is Peace Sells, But Who's Buying by Megadeth. That's definitely going to sound bitchin' on our 666,000 watt Murder Metal Mayhem stereo. So
right.
We got the gray man, Albert Fish, up against Tilly Devine with a shake weight and a bottle of Texas Pete's hot sauce. And Tex wandering around after drinking a dozen beers and 6 shots of McCormick's at the Nation. Peace Sells, But Who's Buying's jamming that bass line to open it up, is just thumping. What do we got, Chris? How do you want to start this one?
In a fucking straight up fight, Tilly wins. Fish is going down. But
yeah, he's kind of feeble, but he could take a beating. I mean, Joey talked about him shoving stuff up in his groin and whipping himself.
See, here's the thing, though. He sees Tilly with her fucking razor. It's like, ooh. So far, it's just been like push pins and whatever.
Does she have the razor, though? Because
they're in their heyday.
Oh, okay.
Remember? They're
all right.
Like, so
she like put it up her,
like that. Look,
her prison.
I got my razor.
Her prison purse.
Yeah, her prison purse. But yeah, she's got a razor, and he's like,
okay.
Oh, I don't really want to fight you, but can you maneuver that into my anus somehow and make it feel really good? And she's like, yeah, I could do that. So Fish bends over. She's like driving it in there. He's like, yeah, that feels good. Can you grab that fucking hot sauce and
Oh,
dump
shit.
a little bit of that hot sauce in there real quick too? Because
Oh, man.
this is gonna be fire.
Wow.
And so like she's dumping the hot sauce and the fucking fish is just like getting off. Meanwhile, goddamn Tex, he's still fucking over there. Fucking, he's in.
Is he standing?
He's starting a garage pit mosh pit with a garage mosh pit
Oh,
with
wow.
everybody jamming fucking Megadeth.
Yeah.
Like Michael, fucking Pete, you, Cashman, fucking everybody. Just everybody's in the garage watching this shit go down. Like, is this really happening? And they're like, holy fuck, what's going on? So fucking Tilly, she's got that hot sauce, that knife, and he's like, oh. You should probably take that fucking shake weight and just slam it in like a pile driver, dude.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
just cramming it in. So meanwhile, he's getting butt raped with a fucking goddamn razor, a bottle of hot sauce, and a motherfucking
Shake
goddamn
weight.
shake weight. Everybody at the house is partying. They're like, what the fuck? So Tilly stops because it's gone so far in, it cut his intestines. Fish is dead. Tilly done killed Fish.
Oh, shit.
Everybody else in the house is looking like we're at the Nation, right? They're like, oh, we're just tripping balls, dude. None of this is real. And that's just what everybody just realized.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I
It was
forgot.
just a bad
Took
trip.
it as it's a bad trip, man. Bad trip.
Okay. All right. Joey, what do you think here, dude?
Whenever the bell rings, nobody can even make a move because Tex is so goddamn fast. He runs to the middle of the ring, grabs the shake weight, and starts working out like a motherfucking Beast Mode style to
Oh,
the
wow.
Megadeth fucking double bass. So
Yeah.
he's just fucking working. He's like, I'm drunk as shit from hanging out at Shawbacks. I don't give a fuck about this weak shit in the ring because it's an old man and some, you know, he's not afraid of Tilly Devine.
No,
Let's
he
just put it
ain't.
that way. So he's not too concerned. So he's working out like a motherfucker with the shake weight to the Megadeth, loving it. And Tilly and fucking Albert Fish are there. They're like, man, this is going to be some shit because this is actually a pretty good fucking fight, I think. Tilly, she'll fuck this old man up, but the old man, you know, he's kind of like a boogeyman, so he'll surprise you.
He'll get you.
Yeah, so Tilly, she's like, man, she thinks, you know, this is in the bag. This ain't going to be shit. So the first thing she does is she fucking smashes that fucking bottle of Texas Pete sauce upside his fucking face, gets the fucking hot sauce in his eyes,
Oh,
and
shit.
fucking now has a knife made out of the Texas Pete's bottle.
Oh,
that she
yeah.
can fucking
Don't need the
slice
razor
and
knife.
dice him with. So she's stoked on that. But the problem is Tex in his drunken fucking mayhem listening to the goddamn Megadeth lets the shake weight slip out of his fucking pumping hand and it flies and hits Tilly in the back of the head and she falls down flat in the middle of the ring. Albert Fish is like, finally I can see again after getting my fucking eyes doused with that bullshit. I've got a fucking good plan. He takes that fucking knife that she had made from the Texas Pete's, uses it to cut her face off, puts it on his face. He was like, now I can attract younger people way easier
Oh,
than
shit.
with my scary grandpa face. Then, while she's sitting there fucking pleading and
scary
screaming in
grandpa
pain,
face.
so then he takes the fucking knife and then proceeds to cut off chunks of her buttocks and eat it in front of her. He was like, I may have cooked
wow.
Grace Budd's ass.
Yeah.
I'm eating yours raw right in front of your dying face, you
shit.
cunt. And then he fucking just eats her until she fucking dies from the excruciating pain of the hot sauce in her skinned face.
Wow.
God
Tilly
damn.
Tartar, apparently. Tilly Tartar, raw Tilly.
That's fucking great.
pretty
man.
brutal, man. Fuck yeah.
Albert Fish.
Albert Fish.
Oh,
for the win.
hold on, I didn't finish. Hold on. I gotta keep going because I forgot about this part. So then, wait. Okay, yeah, so nobody's dead yet. So back up. Before all that happens, yeah, I forgot to tell y'all what happened to Tex. I realized that whenever I was done.
Oh, yeah.
So, before the homemade knife out of the Texas Pete's bottle, before that went down, fucking Albert Fish was fucking trying to act about how he's such a whore and how he'd take that shake weight and stick it in his ass, just like Chris was talking about. And Tilly, she was fucking over this shit. She was like, motherfucker, just like South Park whore off, I need to show you how the real whores do shit. And she climbs up to the top of the fucking cage, jumps down, and fucking just Tex gone in her asshole. Lives in her ass. Tex is in Tilly's ass. And
God
then
damn.
Wow.
proceed on to the face cutting and stuff. So I forgot
Okay.
about Tex.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, Tex.
Yeah, sorry about that, Tex. That's not
That's
good.
fucking good.
All right. Well, the Latino dream himself, Juan Molina, was here on Sunday. He was in town for a wrestling match. No, he wasn't wrestling, but he was in town in this little town I live in. It was crazy, but only had a couple days notice. But I'm like, dude, you want to come see the studio? He's like, yeah, of course.
Nice.
So he was in here. It was a lot of fun. Took some pictures. He took a lot of pictures of the masks. Really good to see him. Always fun to have visitors come here, and so it's great to see Juan. So I know Juan's a listener, so good to see you, my friend. And we're going to do some other stuff, too. We're talking about having him come in for an episode. He wants to do the Taylor Shabusiness episode. That's a good one. I know we were wanting to do that, so...
Shabusiness, man.
We'll get the Latino dream in here to talk about some shabusiness. The chick that cut the dude's dick and head off and put it in a bucket for his mom to find at the bottom of the stairs. Pretty fucking sick. So it's our kind of episode. And we're going to do it with Juan Molina. That should be awesome. Blessed with Pain. Creation of Chaos 4, that's the last book I've done. It's available on my website, petealtieri.com. And so I think we've done plenty of mayhem tonight, guys. So let's hit that fucking outro.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, man, that was Suffer. I love those guys from South Dakota. There's a bunch of bands named Suffer, but the ones in South Dakota, that was an indolent quest for a moral compass, very Carcass-like with the songs and the song titles, really weird song titles, but killer stuff, some Carcass worship going on, but who cares? It's killer. They make no bones about it. They're definitely a Carcass influence, but really good stuff.
Right.
Huge thanks to Tex and A.R. Hayes for coming on with us tonight, talking about false confessions. Very good. I thought we had a great discussion there. We had so many different levels of.
That wasn't bad. It was pretty decent.
It was cool, I thought. And so that was great to have them involved with that. And don't forget to check out AR's channel, Convicts Thoughts on YouTube. I'll link to that down below. Good stuff, and he tells it like it is, and he does some interesting videos on like how somebody's going to break into a house. He's actually going to be doing a series on how to protect yourself, like how to de-burglarize your house, the tips to avoid that, which is cool, coming from somebody that did that, right?
Right. It's like, oh, this is what I did.
Yeah, exactly. Bumper music tonight, Joey. What do we play?
Morta Skuld, Suffer, and Claustrophobia.
Fuck yeah.
Right on.
And the metal segment intro, Chris?
The Great Metal Motherfucker by motherfucking Crysex.
You know it. And Murder Metal Mayhem intro by Low 12 Crawl Space. Thanks to everybody out there listening. You guys on YouTube for watching. We keep seeing those numbers. We appreciate everybody checking out the show, however you're checking it out. Tell your friends, your grandma, your Aunt Mabel, whatever. Fucking tell them about it.
Just go like us wherever.
Yeah, and Chris, we got some good comments here. How about that first one?
First one we got here is Pam Terra.
Pam Terra, I like that.
Pam Terra 65 says, the story about the kid getting pulled by the dog made me spit my lunch all over my car. I didn't mind. I laughed the entire time I cleaned it up and still laughing about it now, leaving this comment. You guys are the fucking best. I mean, was it spit or was it vomit?
I don't know, but Pam, thanks. Appreciate that, if that's your name. But Pam Terra, that's cool. Joey, what about the second one?
Vinny Vincent Rules says, it sounded like 815 Posse had a lot of fun in the studio. I'm jealous. I listen every week in Tulsa and have been a fan since you started.
Right on. Yeah. Thanks, Vinny Vin.
Vinny Vincent, he's probably a Kiss fan, so I'll have to let it slide. But appreciate it. Vinny Vincent rules. And then Deborah Lynn comments from the YouTube, the Patrick McKay or Mackay podcast that we did. Just one word, awesome. So thanks, Deborah. Glad you liked that. And then, Chris, how about that last one?
Last one we got here is Jerry Wilson 068 says, I have listened to you guys every week for the past 2 years and love what you do. I also really love the 666 seconds of metal videos that Pete and Shane are doing. Great stuff. Keep it coming.
Hell yeah. Very cool. Thanks, Jerry.
Cater down. Thanks, Jerry.
All right. Well, you can go to our website, murdermetalmayhem.com. That's where you can get our merch. We got a couple different t-shirt designs there. Getting some ideas for new merch, thinking about maybe some magnets and maybe some mugs. I'm not sure. Just getting some ideas here. So if you got any, fire them at me. Pete at murdermetalmayhem.com. Joey, your distro will link to your Facebook group or your page in the Facebook in the episode description. But anything you wanted to mention?
Yeah. No, just hopefully I get them CDs in the next couple of weeks. So if anybody wants a physical copy from us,
yeah, I definitely want one for sure. But yeah, I think we'll definitely plug it once you have them. Let me know, and we'll plug them the usual ways and try to get people to come and check them out.
It'll only be a short run, so if anybody's interested, like for real, I'll probably do a press of like 30 or something.
Nice.
Right. Nothing
to give you guys a chunk, and so if anybody wants one, definitely get in touch with us. Make sure you get one.
Yeah, because it's got the 45 commercials. I mean,
All
ridiculous
together,
shit. All in one shot, plus a little how we made them thing we did at the beginning. So yeah, it's cool. Well worth the $6.66 for the digital. I don't know how much the physical. Do you have a price set yet, Joey?
I don't know.
No.
We'll figure it out. Usually it's like $12 to get it shipped in the U.S.
Okay, cool. All right, like us on Facebook, on the Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck they call it now. YouTube channel. We've got an Instagram page now. I have a TikTok. I haven't done anything with either of those two, but we have them secured so that this way...
I don't know what those are. I mean, I know what they are. But
yeah, they're short videos on TikTok, like 60 seconds or less. So it's a different type of thing, but a younger crowd. Support the show by joining that 666 Club, patreon.com/murdermetalmayhem. It's only $3 a month, and you could do it through the website. It's cheaper, save 25%. But we can't let them go without hearing a karaoke song, little blast from the past. So crank it up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And keep your corrupt cop fist in some innocent person's face.
There is violence and a lot of work to be done. No place to hang out the washing, and I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we take it higher. Working so hard like a soldier, can't afford a thing on TV. Deep in my heart I abhor ya, can't get food for the kid, good God. We gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh no! Oh no! Fuck no! Fuck no! We gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Who is to blame in one country? Never can get to the one. Dealing in multiplication, and they still can't feed everyone. Oh no, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Out in the street, out in the street, out in the daytime, out in the night. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Out in the street, out in the street, out in the playground, in the dark side of town. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Hey, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. We gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Electric Avenue. We gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Electric Avenue. Yeah.
Mother, man.